So today I'm going to talk about the top 5 ways of getting your first office job. Before we start, I want to tell you that I'm going to give you practical ways of getting your first office job. This isn't going to be about faking it until you make it, your personal brand, shizzle like that. Not my bag. I'm going to talk about the actual ways that have helped me gain a footing on the career ladder. Number 1, make a CV. Now, in America they call this a resume, so this fits for both. Make sure you've done a good quality CV. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it makes sense to other people who do not know you. It needs to be clear. It needs to be factual. It needs to show the things that you've done well, not just describe the things you've done. So once you actually do have some work experience, don't just describe what you've done. You need to talk about how you did it well. Once you've got your CV and you've done your first draft, are you ready? No, you need to show it to as many people as possible. Now, the big thing with CVs is they are very personal. You will get so much conflicting advice, but that's good. Choose which advice you like best and which sort of shows you off in your personality off, basically. Don't do gimmicks, don't do photos, don't do sort of pictures and things. Make it clear, make it so that someone can read it in 10 seconds or less. It should only be 1 page. If you have no work experience, do not make a 2-page resume. Make it clear, and it should have a good amount of white space. Again, if you don't have much experience, why would it need to be full up? Now, once you've written it and shown it to friends, show it to people that work in the industry that you want to work in. Make a LinkedIn account, join the groups, and put up a post and say, does anyone mind looking at my resume? I would like to get this job. Does anyone have any hints and tips? I'm always happy to... I'm going to regret saying this, but I'm always happy to look at people's resumes. Add me on LinkedIn and ask, and I'll probably give you a bit of a critique. If I don't have the time, I'm really sorry, but I thought I would offer. Once you've done that, there's also Reddit. Above, I'll put the name of a Reddit where you can put your CV and people will critique it for you. And it's really good to get people who don't know you at all, who can really explain how it looks to them. 2, network. A lot of people see this as a dirty word, but I love networking. I love talking to people. I love really understanding what's going on in the world around me. Now, networking doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't mean formal networking events. It just means friends and family. It can mean people on LinkedIn, on Facebook groups, on Reddit. I love Reddit. Talk to people all over the place. And it's not, have you got a job for me, please? What you want to be saying to people is, tell me about this industry. Do you know any good places to apply? Do you have any hints and tips of things that I should do to be in the best place to succeed? What skills should I be developing? What courses should I be going on? Go and ask people these questions and see what they say. Don't just join a Facebook group and then ask all these questions. Join, engage, talk to other people, and just ask questions here and there. Don't just come in and be like, hey guys, I want a job, because that won't help. You need to be intelligent and you need to play the long game. 3rd, reality check. Now, this is similar to the networking one. You need to make sure that you're triangulating your ideas and understanding how the world works. Part of this will be through networking, but also through YouTube channels, through reading, through really understanding the nuances of how the working world works. If you haven't worked in an office, you won't really get how weird it can be. One website I really like is called askmanager.org. It really shows the weird and wonderful things that can happen in offices. But you can also, podcasts, again, are a really good way of listening to people talking about how the world works. So make sure that you're getting that reality check. And that goes back to your CV, and it goes back to the way you're presenting yourself. Make sure you ask people how you're doing and what you look like and how you look like to other people. My emphasis is that you don't want to look too weird. You want to show yourself and who you are, but you need to look like you know how the world works and you know what social norms are. And if you have no work experience, you've got no way to prove that. So by having a really good CV and having decent interview skills, you'll be able to do that. 4, getting your first job. Now, here I'm really just talking about experience such as volunteering, temping, and things like that, where you're just trying to get your first foot in the door. Now, volunteering, go to your nearest, food bank, charity, whatever, and ask if they'll give you an unpaid internship. Or find internships online. But just go and say, look, I really want to get experience in bookkeeping, in office work, in just being on reception, and see if they will give it to you. There's no harm in trying. Just be friendly about it, and if they say no, do not be too persistent. You want to look like you're calm and you're a grown-up, and if they say, look, we can't accommodate that at the moment, that's fine, move on to the next place. And this is where networking comes in. You may find someone who will give you an unpaid internship just to get your foot in the door, and not just for that company, but it means you then have something to put on your CV. Also, make sure you don't discount apprenticeships. I did my apprenticeship after my degree when I was 24, and there was someone on there who was nearly 30. It's never too late to go back and try something like that. You can also try grad schemes. Now there's temping. When I first started out, I sent so many CVs to different temp agencies and none of them replied. One day I picked up the phone and phoned them, and you know what happened? They found me a job. This is the trick. You need to actually be a friendly person who talks to people. If you just send in your CV, you won't get the job. With a temp agency, it's really worth phoning them up and be like, hi, I sent in my CV, I wondered if I could set up a phone interview or come in person to chat to you further. Leave it at that. Do not be more pushy than that. Conversely, if you apply for a job not through an agency, do not phone them. Do not phone them. They do not want everyone who's applied for their jobs to phone them. It will not set you ahead, it will actually put you behind. But with a temp agency, if you're not applying for a specific role and they're always hiring, yes, it is worth, and it is definitely worth, phoning them up and be like, hi, can we talk? Have you got any jobs for me? And it might be worth, if they say, no, not at the moment, phone me back next week, do that. But if they don't keep pestering. You're not the person they want. By pestering, you're not going to make them give you a job. You're actually going to harm your chances. Number 5, persistence. Now, I know that I've just been talking about how you shouldn't keep phoning up employers persisting once you've applied for a job. But there are ways that persistence really, really helps. So, for instance, you've just got to keep on applying for jobs until you get one. It can be soul destroying, but one thing I will say is be adaptable. If you've applied for 20 jobs and nothing's come of it, change your CV, change the way you're applying, change something. Don't do gimmicks, you just need to keep changing it. So get more people to look at your CV, try and switch it up, try and do a certification or do some volunteering. You're going to have to keep on changing things until something works. Once you've got a killer CV, you actually find that you start getting loads of jobs. Also, make sure that you're applying for the right type of jobs. You're not going for the manager of a company, you're going for the lower end jobs, or the ones that are most suited to your skill level. Another part of persistence is the fact that your career is a long game. You do not want to jump too far ahead with any one job, because if you get the job and then you can't do it, 6 months down the line you'll find that you've lost your job. That's happened to me more than once, where I've gone for a job, thought, yes, I can do this, this is my career made, and they've got really excited about growing me, and I've just found it's too much of a jump, there's too much to learn, and after 6 months I either burn out or I'm let go because it just wasn't the right thing. So make sure you're doing the right career moves. If you get a job that's so-so, that doesn't mean that's the job you've then got to stay in for years. Yes, you don't want to keep moving jobs, but the fact is, if you do one job and after about 6 months you find that actually you've learnt everything, if it's a really low-level admin job that's really easy to learn, it's absolutely fine to keep looking and start your next job search after 6 months a year. Once you get into slightly more skilled jobs that take longer to train, you really do need to stay for a year to 2 years. But at the beginning, you may need to do a little bit of shuffling until you find the right job, because also entry-level jobs sometimes they can treat you terribly, and if they do, you don't need to take that. Make sure, again, going back to the reality check, make sure that you're not putting up with something that someone with more maturity wouldn't put up with. But obviously, if you need the money, you might have to. Right. What did you think of my 5 top tips? Let me know, comment below, and let me know what you think. If you really like to see what I'm going to do next, subscribe and click the bell. Bye!